So, I just finished watching one of the brand new animes that I have been trying to watch for like a month now. Finally sat down, watched the whole thing in one sitting. I am talking about Solo Leveling. Now, Solo Leveling is an anime that is based off a manga, except not a manga, it's called a manhwa or something like that. It's like a South Korean manga, not made in Japan. I was told that by my dweebish friends that I mean, I'm very dweebish as well. I'm not insulting anybody, but I don't fucking know, okay? So don't get mad at me if I said that wrong. But this is an anime that is made by a anime Japanese studio, and it is absolutely epic, as the title entails. So what exactly is Solo Leveling? Well, it is another shonen-type anime. An anime much of the likes of something like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, or one of those shows which follows this person who learns that they have this crazy, amazing ability, and they have to get better at it, they have to train at it, get stronger, and fights this everlasting string of bosses and weird creatures. That same exact structure, right? Except this one takes place in this weird sort of modern day world mixed with Dungeons and Dragons and video games. You have this weird world where all these portals have started to appear everywhere. These portals that lead to what they call dungeons. These areas that have all these different villains like goblins and dragons and stuff that they have to fight. Now, the people that get to fight these things are called hunters. These are people that had this thing called an awakening, which essentially opened up some sort of power in their bodies that allows them to choose a class like a video game. Do you want to be a assassin? Do you want to be a mage? Well, it depends on how you were awoken and you achieve these abilities. These people upgrade these abilities the same way, they train at them, but they are all designated into a class that they cannot move out of. The strongest hunters in the country are S rank. The weakest ones are E ranks, which is our main character. And of course, in between you have A, B, C, and D, which are all just, you know, the D's are the weaker ones, the A's are pretty damn strong. Our main character, Jinwoo, is an E rank hunter and arguably the worst and weakest one in the entire show, and we follow him as he goes through this set of events, which leads him to achieving a power and finding a mysterious power that puts him on track to becoming the most powerful person in this universe, because of course, it's anime. And that leads to having some awesome fights, some great character moments, some epic music, and just all the badass anime shit that you want. And I have to say, this is one of the more interesting worlds that I've seen in an anime like this. It does kind of take that similar sort of stance as a lot of these animes like Demon Slayer. You have like the ranking system with like the Hashiras and all that stuff. It's sort of the same concept as something like that. Jujutsu Kaisen has a very similar thing, but the world here I think is really cool. The mixing of video games, of like Dungeons and Dragons into a modern day real life Japan, or I guess South Korea, is really cool, and I think it lends itself well to being a great action show. Also, the animation here is absolutely stunning. Let me just get that out of the way early. The animation is brilliant. I believe A1 Productions did it. I don't know if I've seen anything else that they have done, but it reminded me a lot of Attack on Titan for some reason, mainly because that weird, like, statue villain early on in the show looked like a Titan from Attack on Titan, but a lot of the animation, just how brutal it is, how the characters were screaming in their fights, it just all felt like Attack on Titan, which is my favorite anime. So along with the world, the cool setups for fights, and everything else, this show also has a great lead protagonist. Jinwoo is an awesome character. This is a dude who you can really relate to. He's a guy that comes from nothing, and when he was nothing, he was still ambitious. He was still happy-go-lucky. He wanted to get money for his family, so he keeps doing these dungeons. He keeps getting his ass kicked, but he gets back up. He's your typical protagonist that you just can't help but like, and as he gets stronger, and he has this transformation into a complete, utter Chad, you just can't help but just accept his awesomeness. He's just a badass, and many of the fights that he gets to do, specifically one where he's fighting like a representative of the hunters, this weird dude in like the middle of the series, is so good. And just how his character evolves and where he's going into where I think future seasons are going to take this show is absolutely fascinating, and I love it. He is one of the best protagonists in a shonen I've seen. And this show, outside of that, does a lot well. It sets up the world building really well with these hunter organizations, these different guilds that are out there, and the power structure of them, and it being interested in kind of who are the bad guys in the situation, who are the good ones. There's this weird arc being played out that there's some like island out there where some crazy event must have taken place, and now these elite hunters are going to, you know, kind of free it or go raid it, and we don't get to see what happens yet, but that's a cool little world building thing that we get to look forward to. You have a bunch of like morality questions of these people, that decisions that they made within these dungeons, life or death decisions that they may have made for their families that they question later on in life. There's a lot more deeper, sort of riskier sort of topics and ideas that are being played around here within some of these episodes, and I really appreciate it. It gave more density to this world and to this story, and it made it feel like we're watching real people go through this stuff, not just big anime characters who need to fight shit, because fighting shit is what anime is mostly about. And don't get me wrong, the fights in this show are fucking awesome. Like, literally all of them are great. They are creative. The one with him and the knights near the end of the season is so great. They are very, very, very cool, and the way they connect to kind of like video games and RPG type statistics and upgrades is very cool and unique, and gave me a headache because I hate RPGs, if I'm gonna be honest. But overall, I really enjoyed the show. I'm gonna be honest, I have not watched a lot of anime. Back in 2020, 2021, even some of 2022, I went through a pretty big anime phase. I watched hundreds of animes in those 3 years. So many different shows, all of the big ones, and then I ran into One Piece, and I watched all of that, and I'm gonna be honest, it's burnt me out, and I haven't really gotten back into it since. I've been waiting for like the perfect, interesting, great show to kind of suck me back in, and maybe there's been something like that released that has just gone past me in the last couple years, but at the very least, Solo Leveling is something that caught my eye. I watched it, I absolutely loved it, and now I want to watch more anime. Let me some recs down below. What came out last year? What came out this year? That's pretty good. Let me know. I'll check it out. Solo Leveling Season 1, I will give a 5 out of 5, and I cannot wait to see Season 2. This is an incredible anime. So if you watch Solo Leveling, let me know what you thought of it down below. Please make sure to subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I post every single day. I'll see you guys in the next one.